This is the Caldera Spas Marino, a 12-time WhatSpa Best Buy Award winner from Caldera's Vacanza Series. On paper, it ticks a lot of boxes for a top 6-seater hot tub, powerful massage, sensible energy efficiency, and even a smart salt water system, all for under 10 grand. But with so much strong competition in the mid-range market, does it genuinely live up to the price tag? Well, in this review, we're going to find out. We'll walk you through the design, jump in and test the hydrotherapy, explore the smart tech and water care features, plus break down the energy efficiency and real-world running costs. And of course, stick around to the end for our no-nonsense WhatSpa verdict. So, let's dive in. Let's start with the design, and straight away the Marino has a really smart premium look. Size-wise, it measures a little over 2.1 meters square and 91 centimeters tall, so it's a pretty standard size and depth for a 6-seater hot tub. The synthetic Ecotech cabinet looks really nice on the eye, with these wood grain and metallic accents. But for us, it's probably missing some exterior LED lighting. The cabinet's currently available in a choice of 3 colorways, and if you're a stickler for matching accessories, there's also color match steps available. Moving to the interior, there's these big waterline and underwater LEDs, plus the Aquarella waterfall to help create that soothing atmosphere. There's no doubt it's a fairly stripped back lighting setup, given there's no backlit water features, jets, or topside controls, but you can find more party-ready lighting across Caldera's Paradise and Utopia ranges. Style-wise, the acrylic shelves available in 5 different colorways. This one's Arctic White, but there's some nice and varied color options if those better match your garden's vibe. Across the top side, the waterfall and air controls are easy to use with wet hands, and all the controls have a solid turning rate to them. The discrete cartridge at the front also houses Caldera's FreshWater Salt System module, but again, more on the water care tech in a bit. For drinks, unfortunately, there aren't any explicit drinks holders, but there are a few flat surfaces on the acrylic to park any plastic glasses. Overall, the Marino definitely has a quality feel, and the small design touches like the sculpted pillows, sweeping acrylic lines, and stainless steel jet trims all help reinforce that. And if you've got your eyes on an automatic cover system, the flat top side and recessed controls also make that easily compatible. That said, Caldera's own Weather Pro cover is still a solid option. We'll circle back to its energy saving features later, but again, it's available in 3 different colorways to match the cabinet shades. Finally, on controls, you've got this simple button-operated control panel at the front. Being button-operated, it of course passes the splash test, and navigating the controls is pretty much foolproof, even for first-time owners or guests. You can also add the optional connected Spa Kit Wi-Fi module, which lets you control and monitor the tub remotely using the new Caldera Spas app. But before we get into all the tech, let's jump in and test out the hydrotherapy. Right, time for my favorite part, hydrotherapy. The Marino has 35 adjustable jets in total, all powered by a couple of Caldera's 2-horsepower Reliaflow pumps, 1 single speed and 1 dual speed. That's a strong jet-to-pump power ratio, and during our testing, we were really impressed with the massage power and balance across the seating. Layout-wise, it's a single lounger hot tub, and for us, the UltraMassage lounger and the 2 corner bucket seats are the standouts. Starting with the lounger, this targets the neck, shoulders, and middle back, plus the calves across the lower body. It's worth noting there's no dedicated hamstring or foot jets in the lounger, so if that's a must-have, the Vacanza Palatino is also well worth a look. Regardless, it's still a comfortable and deeply contoured mold, and lengthwise, our tallest member of the team at 6'2" still had enough room to relax comfortably. As always though, we strongly recommend wet testing for yourself to avoid making any expensive mistakes, ideally with a trusted WhatSpa-approved retailer. Moving on to Caldera's extra seats. Here you've got a mix of directional jets, again targeting the neck and shoulders, plus wide coverage across the upper and middle back. Over on the right, the LumBassage seat then gives you a deeper tissue massage across the lower back and lumbar region, topped off with some smaller mid-back jets. It's also worth noting all of the non-lounger seats are also within reach of these 4 small angled foot jets, so of course a nice touch if you love a good foot massage. Having said that, the one note we'd probably make hydrotherapy wise is the more limited lower body coverage outside the lounger. So if multiple stations for your hamstrings, calves or hips is a must, you might again want to check out some of Caldera's Paradise or Utopia series models. One thing we like to highlight is that each seat has a noticeably different jet configuration configuration. This means you don't get that repetitive, samey feeling as you move around the spa, and every seat delivers a unique hydrotherapy experience, including the middle upright seats. Caldera call this their hot tub circuit therapy, where rotating between seats gives you a full body massage in different stages, a bit like a gym circuit. All three of the middle upright seats are nice and powerful too, with the left and right stations targeting the mid to low back, and the rear seat targeting the upper to mid back. On jet technology, there's a mix of multi-sized directional jets for targeted muscle relief, spinning rotational jets for more needed massage, and smaller Euro jets for high-pressure pinpoint muscle relief. It's still a relatively standard selection of jet types, but again, as you move up through the Caldera ranges, you start to see a lot more unique jet technology and massage actions. On jet controls, the Marino doesn't actually use any topside diverter valves, meaning all 6 seats get equal jet power all of the time. It's a more simple system that boosts the overall flow rate and means you don't have to play musical chairs with the water pressure. Yes, you don't quite get the same fine-tuned control as you would with a diverter system, but if you want to guarantee 6 people get a solid massage at once, it's a great setup. You can still adjust the individual jet intensity by twisting the nozzles, plus there's 2 topside air controls to dial up the jet intensity across the seating. Comfort-wise, all the seating is fairly wide, and the barrier-free layout means it's easy to shuffle between the seats. And despite not being adjustable, the headrests on the Marino are really nicely shaped and positioned to keep you well supported. The ridged footwell is also quite spacious given the overall footprint of the spa, so it won't feel too cramped even with a full house inside. Depth-wise, at 91 centimeters, it's a pretty typical depth for a tub of this size. But there's no doubt there's a good mix of multi-level seating. The lounger and corner bucket seats are definitely deeper and more immersive, and each of the 3 middle upright seats are a little bit more raised. Overall, we'd say it's a depth well suited for both younger and more mature families. But just note there isn't a raised cool-down seat, which does often work well as a shallow spot for any younger kids. If accessibility is a priority, no cool-down seats can unfortunately make getting in and out a little trickier, but the ridged non-slip footwell does give you better grip underfoot. All told, Marino delivers strong, consistent massage power, well-rounded comfort, and a hybrid multi-level layout that's pretty good for anyone wanting a spa for both socializing and hydrotherapy. And before we jump into the tech and water care, if you want expert hot tub buying advice and to see all 50 WhatSpa Best Buy Award winners this year, don't forget to grab your free copy of WhatSpa magazine. Right, let's talk tech and water care, and we've got to start with the brand new Caldera Spas app. All of Caldera's new Vacanza Series hot tubs can be controlled remotely if you upgrade to the optional Wi-Fi kit. From there, you can adjust the spa's temperature, jet strength, and automate the lighting, plus change things like the heating and cleaning schedules to best match your usage patterns. So if you typically use your spa in the evenings, you can limit the spa's heating cycles during peak daytime tariffs to save a few quid. That can have an even bigger reduction on your energy costs if you're on an EV or off-peak tariff. Plus, you'll also receive any status notifications directly to your phone. There's also an AI-powered support assistant to help troubleshoot any issues. Genuinely a really handy feature for 24/7 support. The new app also gives you remote control of the FreshWater Salt System, which we'll explain in a sec, plus a smart water monitoring system on any Paradise and Utopia series models. That's not available on the Vacanza range like this Marino, but if you want to see our breakdown, make sure to go and check out our review of the Caldera Tahitian after this one. Returning to the FreshWater Salt System though, this uses a disposable titanium cartridge to maintain a low level of salt in the water, which is then naturally converted into chlorine sanitizer. And before you imagine that grim swallowing seawater moment, the salinity here is just over 1700 parts per million. That's far less than the 35,000 parts per million you'll find at most seasides, and even lower than the natural salt content found in your eyes. It's been designed to help reduce overall chlorine and chemical usage, with fewer chemicals equaling softer, more natural feeling water. In our testing, it did feel kinder on the skin, and it's also a lot less likely to cause any dryness or irritation. Just note, it's not a completely maintenance-free system, as you'll still need to check and balance things like alkalinity, calcium hardness, and pH levels. So you can't throw those test strips away entirely just yet. But there's no doubt that the day-to-day upkeep will definitely be lighter work. One big plus to the saltwater system is you can often go a full year without having to drain or refill the spa. That's definitely a win for convenience and your water bill, as well well as avoiding any UK summer hosepipe bans. Again, the saltwater system can all be monitored and controlled via the Caldera app. So let's say you had a big group of friends round last night. You can boost the salt system's chlorine production from your phone before you even rolled out of bed. Maintenance-wise, the salt cartridges will need replacing every 4 months, and you'll need some base salt and a starter kit to get the system started. In terms of ongoing cost, between the replacement salt cartridges, base salt and standard chemicals, today it'll cost you roughly £400 a year to maintain. It's definitely a premium setup compared to traditional chlorine systems, but it can be a real lifesaver for those with sensitive skin that still want that bit of personal luxury. Also, if you're wondering about other water purification tech like ozone and UVC systems, those aren't compatible with a freshwater salt system. Moving on to filtration, the Marino now comes standard with Caldera's continuous EnergyPro circulation pump. This moves just under 40 litres of water per minute using only 40 watts of power, so the entire 1300 odd litre water volume is filtered 38 times a day. In general, a circ pump runs more efficiently in the background, so you get 24/7 filtration. Plus it keeps things quieter and more peaceful if you fancy relaxing with the jets off for a while. All the water is then filtered through this 65 square foot filter cartridge underneath this floating weir. The filter will typically need replacing about once a year. Floating weir systems bob up and down close to the water's surface, so it skims any floating oils, makeup and debris really effectively. The only big omission tech-wise we'd highlight is the lack of a Bluetooth sound system, so if music's a must-have, that's definitely something worth weighing up. Overall, the tech upgrades across the Marino are great for boosting water quality and maximising convenience. And though it's not the cheapest route for ongoing maintenance, there's no doubt it improves the ownership experience. And speaking of costs, let's talk price now. So what's it all going to cost you? Well, the Marino comes in at a recommended retail price just shy of £9,500 here in the UK. And if you want the optional upgrades like the smart app Wi-Fi controls, again, that's an additional cost worth factoring in. So it sits right around the mid-range 10k price bracket, and given the hydrotherapy spec, smart tech and build credentials we'll show you next, for us, it's definitely a competitive price. And as we often say, it's not just about the hot tub you buy, but the track record and reliability of the manufacturer you buy it from. In this case, Caldera Spas are manufactured by Watkins Wellness, one of the biggest and most respected American spa manufacturers on the planet today. They've been around since the late 70s and shifted over 2 million spas in more than 70 countries worldwide. Plus, they also manufacture other WhatSpa approved brands like Hot Springs and Endless Pools. Given that, the Marino is also backed by a decent warranty, with 5 years no leak on the shell, 2 years on shell surface, and 2 years on parts, plumbing and labour. Those are the shortest warranty terms Caldera offer, but they do also provide a 20-year parts availability guarantee. This means they commit to producing parts for all hot tubs for 20 years from the date of manufacture. It's definitely reassuring, and a massive problem we hear daily from consumers that buy from cheap, non-vetted, online-only brands. And don't forget, if you want to see how the Marino compares against other Best Buy award-winning hot tubs across a range of price points, grab your completely free copy of WhatSpa magazine after this video. Right, let's talk energy efficiency and running costs, and all of Caldera Spas' ranges are CEC certified and quality assured. Given that, independent CEC data shows that the Marino uses just over 4.5 kilowatt hours of electricity per day at 38 degrees standby. Using the latest UK energy price cap rates, that works out at a daily electrical cost of £1.70 per day, or about the third of a price of a high street coffee. Of course, when factoring in usage, that cost will edge up. But for a 6-seater spa with this kind of spec, those numbers are very impressive. And if you do want to slash that cost even further, all of Caldera's Vacanza Series models are also heat pump compatible. Insulation-wise, the Marino is fully foamed with Caldera's patented FiberCor insulation. It completely fills the cabinet behind the equipment compartment with no gaps or cold spots, and has the same insulating value as the foam inside your bedroom walls. FiberCor's also made from inorganic fibers, so it won't support mold or mildew growth, meaning it's safer for your home environment and ultimately built to last. Fully foamed hot tubs are fantastic at retaining heat, keeping down pump noise, and also protecting plumbing from movement and vibration. Now yes, full foam insulation can make tracking a leak a little trickier for your technician, but that's quite rare to see. and the added cost and energy savings more than justify that. The equipment itself is also really efficient, with 80% of the energy used by the circulation pump being transferred back into the water as heat, taking a load off the 1.5 kilowatt heater. Structurally, the frame is made from pressure-treated wood, all sat on top of this screen bottom seal. Circling back to the cover, it's 4 inches thick in the middle and tapered down to help with water runoff. Plus, there's this tight hinge seal to help stop any heat loss. There's handles and locking clips for ease of use and safety, and this short skirting helps to protect the acrylic without covering the beauty of the cabinet. There's also built-in mounting plates that integrate with Caldera's ProLift cover lifter range, with different options available depending on your space and clearance. And before we finish, if you've enjoyed this video and want to see more straight-talking hot tub reviews from WhatSpa, please consider liking and subscribing. And let us know what you want to see next in the comments below. So, what's the final verdict? Well, after testing the Marino, it's clear to see why it's been one of the most popular Vacanza Series hot tubs for the last decade. If you're after a 6-seater saltwater hot tub with strong massage power, world-class energy efficiency, and long-lasting build quality, it's difficult to fault the Marino at this price point. The design is clean and modern, and the overall comfort, hydrotherapy power, and seating configurations make it a versatile spa well suited for families wanting a solid mix of hydrotherapy performance and socializing features. The full foam installation and robust build quality help keep running costs sensible. The saltwater system and advanced smart app should make ongoing maintenance pretty much stress-free. Of course, it's not without its trade-offs. The lower body hydrotherapy is quite limited. There's no cool-down seats, exterior lighting, or sound system, and the saltwater system does come with a higher ongoing cost. But if punchy hydrotherapy, top-tier energy efficiency, and smart salt-based water care tech are priorities, then the Marino is a definite buy, which is exactly why it's now a massive 12-time Best Buy Award winner from us at WhatSpa. Also, a massive thank you to Allswim for hosting us at their incredible Cardiff showroom for this review. You'll find both a virtual tour and their website down below. If you've enjoyed this review, hit like, subscribe, and drop your questions and review requests in the comments below. And if you're still comparing models or just starting your hot tub journey, don't forget you can grab your free copy of WhatSpa magazine from the link below at whatspa.co.uk.